Okay, so this is we can call this our cheat sheet, and basically, or our lookup sheet. So we would have to establish a lookup sheet before we start doing these kind of problems. Understanding the lookup sheet, we have this form, R1, R2, this is in series, then a row, and our established equation is RS, which is R series, or R equivalent, is R1 plus R2. Now, you could have more than two in series. You have R1, R2, R3. Then your series equation RS is equal to R1 plus R2 and R3, and so on and so forth. If we had 4 resistors, it would be R1, R2, R3, and R4 together, right? You just add them all up in series. The second part of our equation sheet we're going to look at is here, all right? We're going to ignore the bottom, but we're just going to look at this right now. And right here, these are parallel circuits, okay, where the current will split in 2 different directions. It can look like this, or it can look like this. Technically, these two are the same. How do I know these two are the same? Because they share the same node, A, B, just like that, okay? We're just randomly enabling the nodes. So A and B, they share the same node. The current splits off A, current splits off A, okay? And our equation for that is R1 times R2 over R1 plus R2. That's our parallel circuit. Now, there is an additional equation for this where we don't really want to get involved in that right now because that is a much more complex equation. We're just trying to simply break down the circuit. Here is our voltage divider, okay? So this is our voltage divider. And our voltage divider has basically, when the circuit is in series, right, when R1 and R2 is in series, your voltage across R1 is V of S, which is our source, R1 R2 over R1 plus R2. Okay. When it's VR2, it's VS times R2 over R1 plus R2. So basically, the voltage across the same resistor. Because VR1 is across R1, R1 is on the top. When VR2 here is over R2, R2 is on the top, and the total is on the bottom. If you have 3 or 4 more resistors, your R is going to expand R1 plus R2 and R3 and go on and so forth, right? The last one is called our current divider. And I'm going to write this here. Current divider. Our cheat sheet, okay? So here you have I1 coming into your node, which is our intersection, is going to split I2 and I3. They're going to split, right? Because a current like water will split across a pipe. So imagine this is it's a pipe. And let me focus the camera a little bit. Let me get a good focus on this. Okay. Your I2 is basically your I1, which is here, across the opposite resistor. In voltage, you have VR1 across the same resistor. In current, is across the opposite resistor. So I2 is basically I1 R3 over R2 plus R3. Opposite resistor, R2 plus R3. Your I3 is in your I3 would be basically I1 over R2 over R2 plus R3. So that is just how it works, right? So understand the differences, okay? So when you solve these problems, right, you're going to use a lot of this. You'll see a lot of this, a lot of this, sometimes some of this, but you don't really, it's not really necessary. It's just more of a shortcut, but you will definitely need this, okay? So from this point on, use this cheat sheet to help you in your videos, in your problems, and then I will use the same cheat sheet across the video so you will be able to see, and understand how to work these problems.